I think I have much to tell you about history, about your history. Your father was a visionary.
What did he see?
That kings have a need of their subjects. A dangerous idea.
Rise and rise again, until lambs become lions. My father died for this.
What does it mean?
It means never give up.
A king does not bargain for the loyalty that every subject owes him.
In the name of King John, pay or burn.
Many wrongs to be righted in the country of King John. And I pray for a miracle.
That's something that we need to do.
Become an archer's robe.
The laws of this land enslave people to its king. A king who offers nothing in return.
Robin Longstride, also known as Robin of the Hood.
For the crimes of incitement to cause unrest, I declare him to be an outlaw!
All who shelter him, their lives shall be taken on sight. Nail, please.
It seems we are to share my chamber. I sleep with a dagger. If you so much as move to touch me, I will sever your manhood.
Thanks for the warning.
Robin, your father was a great man. And you are your father's son.
As many men as you need.
Are you ready to be who you are?
Yes.
What we ask for
Is liberty.
liberty by law.
Be still and listen, gentlemen, that are of free-born blood. I'll tell you of a good yeoman whose name was Robin Hood. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our ceremony. Today, as you know, we dedicate our ceremony one of the most famous folk figure in English literature, Robin Hood. And I'll invite our remarkable guests here, and they'll tell some stories. They'll share their knowledge with us. And as almost everyone knows who is Robin Hood, because you know there are a number of films, movies, cartoons about him. And as you know, Robin Hood is a heroic outlaw found in English literature, who, according to the legend, was also a highly skilled archer and swordsman. And he's often portrayed as robbing from the rich and giving to the poor, alongside his band of merry men. Robin Hood became a popular folk figure in medieval period, and he is represented in also in modern literature. And also the true history of Robin Hood is explored, and many of his tales are retold. That the legendary outlaw character Robin Hood was real or not remains a mystery, like Azerbaijani, Turkish and Turkmen Çorumlu had the same work, stealing from the rich, giving to the poor, and but their imagination almost captures our their legends capture our imagination for more than 500 years. And both have a number of adventures, songs, and as you know, it's said that Robin Hood and his merry men living in a Nottinghamshire, Sherwood Forest, and and also they fight with the sheriff of Nottinghamshire mostly, while the true King Richard was away for the Third Crusade. And first of all, of course, we have to know about, to have information about Robin Hood's birth, but it's not my subject. I'll invite one of our guests here, and he'll share his knowledge about Robin Hood. Is born in Sherwood Forest, and
Today I talk about Robin Hood. Robin Hood stories are very famous. Most people know that Robin Hood lived in Saxon and Norman, and he robbed money from rich people and give money to poor people, but not everybody knows that Robin Hood is a rich family, and he is half Norman, half Saxon. The story begins in Robin Hood's grandfather. His name is Sir George Granville, and Granville lived in a near Norman lord. This lord wanted to take Granville's home and capture his land. The two men fight, and after the fight, this lord killed Granville's two sons. Also, Granville's wife died, but Granville and also his daughter lived, and after that his daughter's 19 years old, and she is very beautiful. And Sir George loved her daughter, and after that one man come to Granville's house and says that Mr. Granville, I love your daughter, and I hope she's also love me. And I hope that she will marry me. But Sir Granville starts very angry, and says that never you will marry my daughter. Get off my land. Do not come this land again. Johanna loved this man, so she tried to talk about the father, but father started very angry and says that go to the room. I do not want to hear the man his name. That night William come back.